Hey guys, so the Rune Dragons came out today, as well as the Addy Dragons, so I wanted to make a guide on how to kill these guys. Personally, I think they're a little fun, but every now and then they are kind of frustrating, but it's always nice to chase that elusive drop for the boot add-ons. But either way, to start things off, the requirements that you need are the Fate of the Gods quest and the Ritual of Majorat quest as well. Those are like the two biggest quests in the game, other than maybe World Wakes, so it is very high level requirements. And you also need 90 Slayer to be assigned these Rune Dragons. And just let me tell you, it's not really worth doing them if you do not have a Slayer task. And the reason for that is because you have the chance of the rare items while on task, as well as having the damage boost, which will definitely help with your kills. And for the final requirement, you absolutely need Dragonbane bolts, which you'll get at the end of Ritual of Majorat. You can actually make them after the quest. We'll get into that later on why you need those. And as for any recommendations, I recommend having overloads or extremes at the lowest. They really help here for defense and damage. And having Soul Split and 95 Prayer with Turmoil Prayers is also very good because it obviously increases your DPS, as well as, the Soul Split is very nice here, even on the Elite Rune Dragons. For the gear and inventory, I mainly use range as my primary setup, but I have seen people use melee, but you do have to use Dragonbanes for at least the first phase, but we'll go into that later. But at least for the armor, I have found that Armadil is really all you need. You can go higher if you really wanted to, but I'm fine with Armadil, and you don't have to do repair costs. For weaponry, I highly recommend having, at the bare minimum, tier 80s, like the Royal Crossbow, Zerite Bow, or even Kata Crossbows. That's like the bare minimum, but you will have to have Dragonbanes the entire kill with those setups. But honestly, if you have the money, opt for tier 90s like Ascensions and Dinok Staff. For amulets, I'd say either an Amulet of Souls, especially if you're soul splitting, because you'll have higher HP healed from your damage. But if you don't want to use that, a Blood Necklace also works really well. Additionally, you can also use a Dragon Rider Amulet for the prayer bonus and relatively nice stats. So for the inventory, I have a Spring Cleaner for the rune drops. It really makes it a lot easier, of course. I have my pots, my restore potions, and really you only need food for the rest of your stuff. Also, having a yak and scrolls is really nice because you can hold even more food. And as for like the actual pots, like the overloads, I recommend making salves if you don't have those. What a salve is a combination potion for supreme overloads, anti-fires, renewals, and anti-poison in the same potion. So it saves inventory spots and it's very convenient. But if you don't have that, a very good combination instead of that is a supreme overload and bright fire potions. Have any combination of those kind of things, but I really recommend having at least super anti-fires because you really need to dual wield on this. So how to get there? You have to get to the World Gate, and there's 3 basic ways of getting there, and the easiest way is the 6th Age Circuit Teleport, which you get the 6th Age Circuit at the end of World Wakes if you have all the extra quest requirements and everything like that. Another way is the Eagle's Peak Lodestone and just round south a bit. And furthermore, you can also use a Book of Chartelli from the Firemaker's Curse quest. So you switch the World Gate to Kethsea, and you go in, and you are at the Rune Dragons. So here we are, and just be wary when you're running in here. There is a bug currently that may be fixed by the time you watch this video, but some dragons may be super enraged, and they have extremely high hits, and they can even one-hit you. And I'm not going to explain why they do it, but there is a reason for it, and hopefully it's fixed. And just know that they are aggressive, and if it happens to be one of those enraged dragons, you could be screwed and die. I have died multiple times in one hit just by attacking the wrong dragon, so just be really wary about that. Once you find your dragon, pot up, do not forget your anti-fires, of course. And starting the kill, just build up your adrenaline like normal so you can get ready for some thresholds. You have to use your Dragonbanes, be it bolts or arrows on this phase, or else the armor will not be broken. Once the dragon hits roughly 45,000 HP, the armor will be broken, and it starts phase 2. And during this phase, I try to use Rapid Fire, because it is a very good ability to knock down the HP. And this phase goes until 22,500 HP or so. Once the dragon is at that HP, it will drop down to the ground, and you're on the final phase. This is where your damage is really going to count. The longer you are in this phase, the more the dragon gets enraged, continuously increasing its damage on you. So in other words, the longer you take on this final part, the more food you will use, and it's a lot easier for you to die because the hits will be much higher. So to make sure this phase dies very quickly, I personally use the Tuska's Wrath ability, which you get from the world event currently for Tuska. And on Slayer tasks, it instantly damages anywhere from 10 to 12k damage, which is over half of this phase, so it's very nice. And if it still has a lot of HP, I use my snapshot or even another rapid fire to finish it off. And finally, another tip: when the dragon is nearing the end of the phase, like let's say it's at 46k HP, you don't want to use a threshold at that point because it will just be cancelled by the phase switch. So for example, if the dragon's at 47k HP and you know the phase ends at 45k, you don't want to use like a threshold that will hit more than 2k because it'll just be cancelled. So just use your basics and save the threshold for the following phase. And also rarely an elite dragon may spawn, which is just a stronger version of the normal rune dragon. It has better chances at the rare drops, better regular drops, and has a chance at the cosmetic armor set. And for actually killing them, Phase 1 and Phase 2 are literally the same thing, it just has more HP, and the phases switch at 69k HP and 35k HP instead. And Phase 3 is the only like real difference, even though it's still kind of the same. It's just, because it's elite, it will hit considerably more, especially with the enrage effect, and it will have more HP that you have to knock down, so it's just a little bit more difficult. But the same strategy of Tusker Wrath, Snapshot, and Rapid Fire, you should get this down pretty quickly. And that's really it for Rune Dragon, so it's actually kind of simple when you break it down like that, and I hope this guide did help you out with either the gear settings or actually how to kill the dragons. And just know that I will be making a loot video of this for 500 in a couple days. I am working on it, and I'm just trying to get a lot of tasks for it. I haven't been really lucky, but we'll just keep on going with it. And I hope you guys get lucky on the boot add-on drops, because they are kind of expensive still. I know they are kind of empty now, like the Rune Dragons, but if you were kind of itching to try these out, I hope this guide did really help you guys. So I'll see you in the next video. If you enjoyed, drop down a like, drop down any feedback, and anything like that. I will see you guys in the next video. Have a good day.